Well, Corey, I know that last year wasn't, the best year, the year that you wanted, but I know you're a positive guy. So what's it been like, kind of dealing with the results of last year?
It was just a learning lesson for me, being young in the sport. Last year was 4 years fighting. This year in March struck 5. I was already fighting top tier guys, just fighting for a title. Or OSP fought John Jones 5 rounds for the title. Jimmy Manuwa was protesting for the title against DC. It ain't like I went out there and lost to so many scrubs. I was fighting the top guys. And one thing about me, I never backed away from a challenge. They called me, say, your replacement is OSP on 2 weeks. All right, send me a contract. When I fought Jimmy, I was working out. They called me like, yo, they want you to fight Jimmy Manuwa in London. All right, send me a contract. Never been the type to run from anything or duck anything. I trained to be the best, so I want to fight everyone there is. Like I said, I was young. I've only been fighting 4 years. Each of those guys been fighting about 7 to 10 years themselves. So it's a lot of things I didn't learn, and I'm still working on to learn.
Do you have that attitude right away? Because again, like you said, you're developing, at the highest level of the sport. So do you have that attitude right away, or do you get frustrated after a loss? Do you get down on yourself at all, or are you able to always stay positive the way it seems you are on the outside?
One thing I learned in college, you got 5 minutes to sulk. We wrestle so many times wrestling, or in college you lose, then you can wrestle back and you lose, or sometimes you lose 2 of them and you're out of the tournament. And one thing my coach told me was like, you got 5 minutes to sulk. I'll let you go over in the corner, give you 5 minutes to be upset, whatever. After that, clear your mind, because we got to go back out and do it again. And that's just been my mindset. After a fight, whatever, I give myself, I don't even really sulk anymore. I just digest it. I think about what happened. Like with the OSP fight, I went in the back and I was trying to find a replay, found it on my phone, saw what I did wrong, had my 5 minutes to break it down, and after that, it was positive mindset. On to bigger and better things from here. Back
nice.
To the gym.
So what's the focus been like for the past 5 months?
My focus for the past 5 months has just been hands up. That's one thing I realized. Being young, my wife now, she trained at Duke Roufus, and she was telling me stuff with striking, showing me videos. She's like, I noticed, you don't do this. I never done a basic striking class, babe. You started in a boxing class, and they're like, oh, you should come up to the MMA team. They pulled me out of a wrestling room and threw me in the sparring. So I never took the basic class. I never had a basic white belt jiu-jitsu class. I never had a basic striking class. I never took a kickboxing class where I learned these things. So this last 5 months, that's all I did. I took time to go to Killer Bees, where Carl Roberson, an upcoming guy, 85er in the UFC, go to his gym, work kickboxing with him and his coach, Glory Kickboxers, learning different things I never knew. Keeping my shoulders, forward. I always thought about keeping my elbows tight to my side, which leave me open for that head kick as you saw in the OSP fight. But they always told me you got to have your elbows out and your hands up. I never knew that, So there's a lot of things I didn't know in the fight game, and I was just getting away with it because I'm athletic and work hard.
Is it hard for you to be humble like that? Because I can think somebody that's fighting at the UFC level, fighting top guys, will be like, come on, what can you show me? I know this. Is it hard for you to be humble and take a white belt level type class?
Never. Growing up, if you knew who my father was, you'd understand the way he is. A successful businessman, got one of the biggest roofing companies in northern Illinois. He travels all over the world to do roofs, and he'll listen to advice from anybody. He's one of the biggest roofing companies out there, but he always told me, no matter what, son, you can always learn from anybody. When the fans tweet you and say stuff, take it with a grain of salt, because something they say could be good, and something they say could be trash. But you look over it first before you throw it out. If it's somebody that's not at your level, and they say something to you, don't say, oh, who are you to tell me something? Because some of the best coaches in the world weren't the best athletes. One myself was my high school coach. He wasn't the best high school or college athlete, but as a coach, he dominated. We were the only public school at the state tournament every year with state champions because of his mindset. So me, humble is part of where I am, who I am. My father told me when I came home from the Ultimate Fighter, the next morning was out working. I never forget, I was helping him roof and whatnot. He looked at me and said, don't forget where you come from. Don't forget your humbleness. What you mean? He said, the people you pass on the way up going to be the same people you pass on the way down. Don't forget what I taught you. Don't let all these people out here get in your head and think you're bigger than what you are. You still Corey Anderson from Rockton, Illinois, and you're going to treat everybody with respect. It's always been that way.
Nice. Last thing for me, this matchup, a rescheduled matchup. Were you happy? Did you want to keep this fight together? Did you want to put it back together after losing it? Did it matter to you?
I wanted it. Pat called me out after I won the Ultimate Fighter, actually. John Anik announced it. Can't remember what card it was. I think it was the UFC Houston when Frankie fought Cub the first time, and I was watching that fight, and after John did an interview, oh, just in, Pat Cummins says he wants to fight Corey Anderson right away. Again, I tweeted in, I'm your Huckleberry. You want it? Let's go. I'm young, but I'll take it. You think just because I'm young, you're going to get it. And I knew I could beat him then. And if you thought he had a bad show then, wait till you see the Corey now.
We talked to Edson about this yesterday. Robbinsville is not a bad commute down to Atlantic City. Have you been enjoying any advantages of Fight Week near where you're working out?
Nah, I really came down. I'm just going to stay in a hotel, stay in a room, not really worried about being near home base. Yeah, it's close, but once I start doing that, my mind's off the focus. You know, I've been, since the fight's been announced, like I told my dad, I've been possessed with Pat. Like I dream Pat, I think Pat. Everything I do, I just study film. I tell myself before I go to sleep every time just how this fight is going to go in my head, like dominating. There's nothing this guy can beat me in. So I don't want to be going home. I don't want to be close to the gym because people getting hit. Oh, how you feel, this and this. I'm in the room by myself focused.
Got it.
With both of you having the wrestling background, is there any added competitiveness to this one?
Nah, wrestling, MMA, wrestling is completely different. You know, one of my coaches is Nick Catone. He like led the Division I when he was in college at takedowns. You know, when you're in a wrestling stance, it's different because I'm just trying to snap you down and get underneath you. When we both fighting upright, you got to get past my punches, my knees, and be able to set up your shot to make me bite or to stay still to get into the legs. You know, I'm pretty good at MMA wrestling myself. We're both pretty good at it. But I don't think he's really fought anybody that has much of a wrestling background. You know, he fought Jan Blachowicz and who was the other fight? I can't remember. Gian. You know, with Gian, I trained with Gian for that fight to help him get ready. And I told him there too, like Pat's not good at setting his punches up to get a takedown. He's going to dive for a takedown and try to counter off of your jab. He's not good at putting it together to get the takedown as I am. And I'm good at defending it off my punches as well.
Now, obviously you had Frankie as a coach on The Ultimate Fighter, and you've spoken before about the impact he's had on your career. Just tell us a little about being on the card with him and also, you know, what he's going through this week.
I mean, being on the card with Frankie was something I asked for at the MSG fight, you know, since I debuted with him on The Ultimate Fighter. He was my coach on The Ultimate Fighter. He's, like I post about him all the time, he's just a huge impact in my life. If it wasn't for Frankie, I wouldn't be where I am now. Because if I went to BJ Penn's team, I don't think they would have took the time Frankie and Mark Henry did to develop me. When they found out I had only been fighting 4 years and had that much of like I did that well in that first fight, they're like, man, well, what you did there, we can go even further. And they invited me out to Jersey. And to this day, I train with Frankie daily. We text daily. If I do something wrong, he'll pull me to the side. Like, remember, when you're doing this, try to set it up with this a little bit, with the wrestling, the punches. So being on the card with him is great. It's just like a Saturday in the gym for us. Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, we spar together. It's one cage. We all taking turns. We sit in the back or sit on the side watching each other spar till the next person come in. It feel like it's going to be the same thing. You know, in Jersey, near home. My teammates I spar with daily is in the car with me. I can't wait.
Thanks.
We're seeing a wrestler versus wrestler fight. A lot of times it turns into just a striking fight. Is this something you're anticipating or looking forward to at all?
I mean, I hope he turns to a striking fight because he can't strike with me. You know, everybody knows Pat doesn't have the prettiest striking. He throws punches, you know, just to keep your hands up to go for the legs. I throw punches to throw punches. You know, you've seen me. You've been in the gym before. It ain't the same if you're just out there throwing punches with us. So if he want to go to a striking fight, we can go to a striking fight. He want to take it to the ground, I'm going to get him right back up and beat him up on the hands, take him down and let him back up. You know, I'm going to make him pay for whatever he want to do.
Okay. Last thing for me, how's the married life treating you?
Married life is no different than dating life, even better. You know, my partner in crime, my best friend, I love that girl to death, and she supports me through all this. With this fight week coming up, like I said, she fought too. Some people know that. But I thought I was doing the meal plan thing right. You know, I'm packing my bags to come down with my cooler, and she's like, whoa, what do you got? I show her the meal prep stuff. She's like, Corey, that's not gonna happen. Right then, she just got home from work, took her stuff off, and recooked all my meals, repacked my bags. Like, all right, now you can go. You know, to have a woman like that worked 10-hour shifts and was exhausted, got home at like 9:30 at night and still cooked and prepared my meals for a whole week. You know, you don't find women like that in this world anymore. So I'm really grateful and thankful for having her.